pocket awareness, pocket presence. He's a darn leader. But most of all, he's a winner. People forget that category when you're looking at quarterbacks.
Woo! Sorry. Shedeur Sanders' records at Colorado are as follows. First in Colorado single-season passing yards. First in Colorado single-season completion percentage. Colorado single-season touchdown to interception ratio. Single-season passing touchdowns. Single-season completion. Single-game passing yards. And single-game completion percentage with 30 or 40 attempts. Look, in short, Shedeur Sanders has left a legacy, whether you like it or not, in all of college sports, but specifically for Colorado. A lot of records that are going to be stacked up into the world in the annals of history in Colorado football. But Julian Lewis and Byron Leftwich are going to break all of them. Julian Lewis is breaking the internet. I know you haven't heard that since about 2016, but I don't know how else you want to say it. I mean, Deion Sanders in his own right, in Colorado in their own right, is enough of a attention-bringing type of environment that you didn't even need someone like Julian Lewis, who is just turning it up times 10. He's slinging balls, back foot, he's hitting the Shedeur, man. And I'm telling you, with this new Byron Leftwich signing, they are setting up a championship caliber coaching staff with championship level players to hopefully win a championship. So today we're going to go over the newly announced quarterback coach, Byron Leftwich. We're going to review some Julian Lewis specific tape, look at him sling the ball a little bit, and as well as listen to him kind of speak on his process coming to Colorado, talk about the relationship with Shedeur. This is not a bringing down with Shedeur. I think what Shedeur has done, and I want to stress that, that's why I started this with the topics, he's going to go down in history as a legendary quarterback. As much as I don't like it, number one in completion percentage in all of FBS, period. And he owns records at one of the most storied football programs in history. Look up Colorado's history. Sorry about it. So let's hop right into it. I'm going to stop yapping. Let's see Mr. Byron Leftwich getting introduced.
So this is what our new coach is. You say hi to him, say what's up. He's coach. Don't call him by his name. He's coach. What you want to be called?
Coach. Just put coach in front of it. I don't care what's behind it.
There we go. God bless y'all. Let's have a great day.
How you doing?
That's the official. And here is even Tom Brady speaking on, Byron Leftwich and kind of the impact that he's had. And of course, they won a superb owl out there. So,
Byron has a great presence about him. He's a, former quarterback. So I think so much of how he sees the game is through the eyes of the quarterback and, puts himself in that position that, okay, how would I like this done if I was under center? And got a great understanding of the game. Got a great work ethic, has great command and presence, and he's a great coach.
And that is coming from who a lot of people recognize as the GOAT. Of course, Shedeur Sanders looks up greatly to Tom Brady. They've got a really good relationship. Of course, Deion Sanders has a great relationship with Tom Brady in its own right. Now, Byron Leftwich was an NFL quarterback, but most importantly, I think it's something that is going to stick into the minds of a lot of college football players. At Marshall, shout out to Randy Moss, he had to get carried down. Let me just watch the. Let's just let the video do it, huh? Let's let the video speak for itself, because this is an iconic moment in the world of college football as he gets carried down. He got injured and had to come back in the game.
Seam route. He's got Darius Watts inside the 35 and all the way down to the Akron 33-yard line.
Now look at this. Carry. Now I can't show too much because I think that's going to start getting copyrighted. But you get the point. Look up Byron Leftwich. Obviously, he could sling it himself. Played for the Jags and things of that nature. Led and helped Tom Brady win another Super Bowl ring so he could rock around like Thanos. And all of that to help this little motherfucker right here, because this motherfucker can spin it. this motherfucker that throwing up the wrist. Oh, he can drop it in a bucket now. Before we even get to it, let's kind of take you back and look at the throw that started this. We're going to come back and look at this film, but we're going to actually go watch and listen to Shedeur, listen to Julian Lewis, listen to them, their perspectives on kind of joining and the relationship they have. But first, look at this scene. Oh, can't play that. Look at it. Off the back foot, mind you. Off the back foot. I mean, come on, dog. Off the back foot, guys. Guys, he has somebody right in his face so he can't step all the way because somebody just got worked right here. And he says, oh, I'm going to have to do it off my back foot. Where I'm going to put that thing? Oh, sorry. Let me, sorry. I'm trying to let y'all see it, but it's too small. I hate these vertical videos. Look at that ball placement, ladies and gentlemen. The ball placement. And then, 3-6 just, he holding on for dear life. I don't know what else you want to do. Let's hear Julian Lewis. And actually, we're going to start with the man in charge. Let's hear with, this is before Julian Lewis was even on campus, what Deion Sanders had to say about him.
Yeah, man, he's everything that we desire in a quarterback. He's smart. He could make every throw. He has a pocket awareness, pocket presence. He is a darn leader. But most of all, he's a winner. People forget that category when you're looking at quarterbacks. Are they winners? We have one right now, and we got one coming in, and we got one on campus right now as well. They're winners. That's the intangible that you want. You don't want to get a guy that's got his butt kicked his whole life. What is that going to do? What is he going to say on a TV timeout to his team when he gets to a pivotal point in the game and he's always lost? I don't want that. Not at all. Not leading our team.
And I want to, yap for a second just about the idea of bringing in winners. I said this about on another video. I was like, look, when you bring in Hall of Fame level talent in the coaching world, right? We have to understand what that means, okay? You bring in someone like Caden Salter, who has been playing the game of football for a long time. That's intentional. Byron Leftwich, who's won Super Bowls and has coached one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. That's intentional. Pecco, a former NFL player, worked with the Dallas Cowboys, played for the Bengals. Intentional. I don't even have to talk about the offensive coordinator, who was a former NFL offensive coordinator. Deion Sanders, of course, recognized as one of the greatest defensive backs in the history of NFL. Like, these things start adding up. And I was talking about Quentin Gibson. I was like, do you know how important it is? Not just that Quentin Gibson is fast, he can catch, he's got the mentality, but he's a winner. I know it sounds cliche, but you have to know what it's like to win. Jeremiah Smith, I believe, went 3 seasons at Chaminade down in South Florida without losing a national championship or state championship or winning a game. He ain't lost many games, and he's won like back-to-back state championships in one of the most competitive lands in all of high school football. And then he goes to Ohio State, and as a freshman helps them lead themselves to a national championship. I'm not saying Quentin Gibson is Jeremiah Smith, but what I am saying is that elite part of who Jeremiah Smith, he's not just some dude that is literally a carbon copy of Julio Jones. I mean, because he is that, but he's also a winner and knows what it means in high school to go through a 15 games in high school is a lot. If you played 3 seasons of 15 games in high school and won those, when you go to this 13, 14, 15, and then get into the playoffs, and then you have title games, right? If you're not built for that, it's going to wear down on you. It's going to have some of those cracks show. So let's see what Coach Prime has to say about the quarterback battle, and then Julian Lewis is going to have plenty to say about it as well.
I just can't wait to see what comes to pass on the field. A couple quarterbacks are fighting for who's going to be who. We don't know. No one's getting a nod right now. We're testing both of them and see how they react to what Pat is throwing at them, and they're doing a phenomenal job in leadership. You got to understand the offensive line and some of the guys that are still here is used to a certain type of leader, and these guys, we want them. The standard is the standard. We're not going to shy away from the standard at receiver, at quarterback, or wherever have it. The standard is the standard.
What was it like being out there today for your first real official college football practice?
It was definitely great. Finally time came, whatever. I'm bored waiting, trying to get installs and stuff like that. But it was definitely the best part today, getting to actually play football. So, yeah.
Why'd you pick Colorado?
Honestly, I think looking at it, it was the building process of the organization, like the program just trying to build its way up from prime, getting here to them building their record and doing all the stuff they've done. And it was just like it was hard to pass up on the opportunity to come under prime and stuff like that.
What went into your decision to come here so early?
Honestly, I had planned on reclassing up back when I was committed to USC. That was always the goal, was to skip that last year of high school. I feel like high school football probably didn't have much more for me. Even if it meant coming in here and competing for a job young and doing all that stuff, I just felt like it'd be best for me to get in here as early as possible. Definitely a blessing for me to have a guy like him that just came over top of me.
Speaking on Shedeur,
about it, like we kind of came in different paths. Like I didn't start off at JSU and all that stuff, but just looking at it from another black quarterback is always good to hear from. Even the older guys, just like that have retired and stuff like that. Just understanding their path, it's humbling.
I'm just glad that he made that decision. And
Shedeur himself.
I never wanted to ever pressure him on what to do because that's his career, that's his life. He's gonna have to be okay with. That's the same conversation Dad had with me, even going to Jack State. At the end of the day, like, yeah, I want you to come, but if things go left with you, you gotta be okay with you making that decision at the end of the day. So that's kind of, I gave him the same kind of talk Dad gave me. He made the decision that he wanted to make, and that I wanted him to make also because I know we wouldn't set him up for failure.
And you can just kind of see it's a bit of a I wouldn't even say mini family, right? But I would say almost a real family feel with those guys, a little big brother, little brother situation, right? But I know immensely important to have somebody like that who you can see that it almost doesn't feel like the pressure is on him. I know he said that, but I think specifically, right, when we talk about things that, you know, when we talk about ways in which a quarterback can be thrust upon into a situation, right, the fact that he is going to come into a place where Caden Salter theoretically should be the guy, right? It doesn't make him feel like he has to save Colorado. And then on top of that, the whole Shedeur coming before him, he might have big shoes to fill eventually, right? But it's not something that is so terrible that everyone looks at it a certain way, or even so amazing that he's going to have to be a Heisman winner. But I think an elite level, what Shedeur has done, a historic college football career, that I think Julian Lewis is going to come and just topple. And the added distress, I would say, of Caden Salter being there, having experience, seeming to really want to compete, want to kind of put him under fire too, because I think that's important too. I think it's important as a guy like Julian Lewis, 4/5 star. Y'all know how they do them stars whenever they go sign on to Colorado. They like to mess with the stars. But 4/5 star, whatever you say, type of guy, right? How about we put him into some adversity? How about we put him in a room with Caden Salter, who's actually a similar build, not a similar type of quarterback. Caden Salter he can run a little more. Julian Lewis can run, but you can see it. And how about let's just not see? How about let's see it? You know what I'm saying? Let's see him sling the ball around, him and Caden Salter, especially while I'm yapping. But you can just tell that I think this is going to be an environment that's very conducive to grow as a quarterback, right? You're in a system that seemingly, depending, no matter on which quarterback it is going to be able to kind of cater, right? Caden Salter has came out and been very vocal about, look, hey, I know I'm a running quarterback, right, quote unquote, but at the same time, I'm gonna want to sit there and sit in the pocket. Look at Caden. You see that? You see Caden kind of, you know what I'm saying, pointing and leading and letting Julian hear that. Let Julian hear what it's like, that pre-check. And what does that process need to look like? And I love the fact that it seems that any single person that talks about Julian Lewis or is it's just positives. It is not. Shedeur has positive things. Jordan Seaton comes in and says, hey, this is my dude, taking him under his wing. Caden Salter, they're best of friends. And even before coming into it, when they were talking about it in different interviews, it was, woo, sorry, Quano's going crazy. Even as they were talking about it, it seemed like a very healthy conversation of, oh yeah, I'm going to come in there and I'm competing. And I think, and I know, Caden Salter knows who he has, quote unquote, behind him, right? Because nobody's technically behind. There's that nasty side on. Everybody love to see that. I think he clearly knows who is behind him and what the capabilities of Julian Lewis are. So you know what I'm saying. I think he's ready to work just like anybody else. Oof, little bang eight. Was that a bang eight or a deep post? It looked posty. It looked postified here. Let's see him sling it a little more. What
was that?
That just seems like a fun drill, and I think this is that side of him. Oh no, this is when he rolls right, or yeah, rolls left. Boop, finds a dot. He's dipping dots. Absolutely elite. All right, but that's all there. Like I said, I think he possesses a lot of greatness that's going to allow him to take things to different levels, bigger levels, and better levels. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and end it on a little bit of the well-off media, just kind of talking about the holy Byron Leftwich, talking about the introduction, talking about something that we honestly don't talk about a lot on this channel, and it's some of the speaking engagements of Dion and the team as they get ready for practice.
Your grades are 2. How can we sit up there? We got lines wrong. We got guys at practice getting grades that weren't even up there. How in the world did that happen? Good day and God bless. I am so happy to be in front of you today. Why? It's because we made it to today. Now listen to this morning word. This was a deep thought I had, I think 2-3 days ago, and I text myself this, but I wanted to bring it out for this morning because I feel like it's appropriate for a multitude of y'all. I couldn't see today because of yesterday. If I could have gotten a glimpse, I would have understood because I didn't quite see how wonderful today would be. Lord, I thank you. But I also thank you for yesterday, because if it wasn't for yesterday, I couldn't appreciate today. I'm going to say that again because I don't think you followed me. I couldn't see today because of yesterday. A lot of bull junk going on, a lot of naysaying, a lot of hating, a lot of dysfunction going on. I couldn't see today because yesterday was cloudy. But guess what? If I could have gotten a glimpse, I would have understood. Sometimes you want God to give you a peek of what's to come so you'll understand, but God don't work like that. I would have understood because I didn't quite see how wonderful today would be. Lord, I thank you for today, but I also thank you for yesterday, because without yesterday, I couldn't appreciate today. Baby, you got to go through to get to. You got to go through so you could appreciate what God brings you today. So, see, you in love with that gift and that thing. I'm in love with the process. I thank God for the process of taking me through.
I'm not laughing at what he's saying. It's just that's the most coach speak thing ever. You gotta love the process. But I think he's making a great point. I was going through the video. In this particular one, they weren't talking about the Byron Leftwich. I'm sure that's gonna come out soon. And they were just kind of giving more so grades. So it wasn't a lot to watch. I just thought that was really good. I think Deion Sanders, he genuinely has a future in being a pastor. I think he does a great job interpreting, right, giving the words of wisdom and allowing people to kind of come to their own maybe conclusions as well. So, you know what I'm saying? Hey, this is a foosball channel, but it's here to hear those words, because even if you are non-religious, the words of the things that he's saying, at the end of the day, they're philosophy, right? That's what it is. It's just opening up yourself to different perspectives to look at certain things. And hey, man, having a few quarterbacks lined up and god dang Super Bowl champions on your roster, Hall of Fames on your roster. I think that 1-11 season, or not 1-11, that 3-9, 3-8 season, I think gave enough cloudiness to have a beautiful day like they're having now, man. But if you enjoy these videos, like the video. If you don't, dislike the video. Subscribe if you enjoy college football content coverage, Colorado stuff. Comment down below if there's anything else you want to do. Again, we do NIL stuff, transfer portal stuff, all types of fun stuff. Got that Nitro Tuggle video coming out right now. I honestly might be out while you're watching this, but I appreciate y'all watching, man. See you next time. Hey, you know you're great, right? So be great. Peace.